Hey. I just wanted to record a little update, a little follow-up. I know that some of the last videos that I've posted have been kind of rough. But I'm doing okay, finding my way through it. Tomorrow I start working at my old job, which I was at for 5 years before I lost it in the beginning of last year. And I mean, it's my dream job, not just for like the pay and the benefits, but like the team and the work itself, and especially like the mission of the company. I'm like supporting and working directly with medical oncology providers and radiation providers, so like chemotherapy, TrueBeam, electronic prescription for cancer patients. And it means a lot to me to get to be a part of that process, of the overall mission of treating people with cancer, hopefully saving them. The company is also involved with a lot of like R&D, so research and development of finding better, more effective methods for treating cancer, like very cutting edge stuff. So I'm extremely grateful and proud to be a part of an organization like that. And I grieved this job heavily, like all of last year, along with all the other grief. Like, I lost both my animals of 8 years. I ended up losing my house. I lost all my material possessions. I lost all my savings. I ended up homeless in the beginning of this year. So there was a lot of grief, but the job was definitely thrown in there quite often. And then because after I had left, or after I lost the job, during a short period of time where I was not thinking clearly, I had reached back out to my boss, my manager there, who I had always had a good relationship with, and I just told him, I was, I wasn't in, the right headspace, and I wasn't thinking clearly. I probably should have taken advantage of the benefits and like taken the, long-term leave, that kind of thing, and he agreed. But I had asked him back then, this is like February or March of last year, if he would ever consider bringing me back, and he was like, yeah, of course, like, we were really confused when you like suddenly left and everything, and so for a lot of last year, I was kind of like just waiting for like the position to open up again, for it to come back. But it's a massive company, and it just took a very long time for the job position in that department to get approval, for like with the budget and everything. And eventually I just gave up on the idea of it coming back, and that was like in the beginning of this year, I think, when I just finally gave up and just grieved it as if like it was gone forever for good, and like let it go. And that was when I found another job here, the one that I was just working at for like 2 months. And it was a good job. I was really grateful to get that job. It wasn't doing, like, it was tech support, but it wasn't for working with people that are saving lives or anything. It didn't fulfill me, and the compensation was like literally half of what my last job was, so it wasn't going to easily allow me to rebuild my life, but it was a start, and I was really good at the work. I got like really good feedback from my manager there, and even the owner of the company, like multiple times, and like I said, I was super grateful to get that job. It allowed me to start renting this room that I'm in, that I've been in since then, which is like April, and I'm staying here for like the foreseeable future, which is really nice. But yeah, and then I just did my best that I could at that job, and after like 4 or 6 weeks of working there, excuse me, my old manager reached out and was like, hey, it's good news. They finally approved the position. And he's like, I'll like give your info to the recruiter, and then a little while later the recruiter reached out and was like, yep, like your old boss is real excited to bring you back. They didn't make me interview or anything. They didn't consider anyone else. I don't know if I'm supposed to say that or not, but yeah. So super thankful, super grateful for that. And then I left the old job, the one that I was working for 2 months. I left on really good terms, and it's nice because like that door is open. If I ever like in the future am in a position where I need work, I know that I could always go to that company, and as long as they're like still around, which I would hope that they are, then I would have a place to work, which is nice. It's really nice. Never had that feeling before, so. But anyway, I start my old job tomorrow. That's my guess. I already got my laptop and everything, set it all up. I'm excited. And yeah, and this job will allow me to rebuild my life, like financially and stuff. Easier, at least. I mean, I still have a long way to go, but I'm already, I've already been taking steps ever since my first paycheck with the short-term job that I got, paying off like, I just have like credit card debt, and I had some money due to the IRS because I had to take out my 401k last year in order to pay for my rent for most of the year, until eventually that ran out, and then I got evicted, and I'm pretty sure at some point I'm gonna have to like pay the eviction money and stuff too, so it's still going to take quite a while, but I'll get there. Yeah. And as far as all the feelings that I had been talking about in recent videos of like, really like deep loneliness and kind of like despair and all that stuff, they're all still there. I mean, these are all things that I feel kind of all the time, but I've just, like, I'm just learning to live with them. And sometimes it's easier to carry certain feelings, and sometimes they're heavy and they hit really hard, all at the same time. And I do my best to utilize my mental health toolbox, as it's called. Grounding exercises and healthy coping skills. Like, I have like heated blankets. I think you can probably see those. Yeah. I know, I live in Phoenix and it's the middle of summer, so you're probably like, why the heck do you have heated blankets? Thankfully, the owner of the apartment that I live with, he likes it really cold, so he keeps the AC at like the high 60s, which is like really nice, because I don't have to pay any extra. All of my utilities are included. Yeah, and so I do my best to use my healthy coping skills, and reach out to people. I do have a small network or community of friends, or acquaintances that I can reach out to, and sometimes I'm able to find someone that's available and talk. Lately, not so much, so it's been a little harder, but I've been, just having to rely on myself a little more lately, and it's an adjustment, but, I have, the tools in place to get through. And yeah. I guess I'm probably gonna keep this short, and I just wanted to check in and say hey. Let the world know I'm doing okay. I had a really nice experience yesterday or Friday. I was out running errands, and I've been kind of like having, I thought, like an issue with the air conditioning in my SUV. It's been acting kind of weird, and so I happened to be in the area where the mechanic is that I brought my SUV to earlier in the year to have some like work done that I needed to have done in order to like for it to be safe to keep driving, and I was kind of still living at it at the time, so and so I was like, okay, I'm just gonna stop in real quick and ask them if they can take a look at the AC. And it's like a local like husband and wife that like own the business. He's like the head mechanic and she's like the office manager. And they're both real friendly people, and I stopped in and said hi and told them what was up, and the husband, I think his name is Steve, he drove my truck around for a bit and looked at it and was like, it's fine. So he's like, I wish I could do more for you, but it's totally okay. So, and he didn't charge me to look at it, which I thought was really nice. But then I ended up just staying there for like 45 minutes talking to his wife in the office about just like random stuff, this and that. And like a handful of times, her husband would like come in, or one of the mechanics would come in, and she would like bring them into the conversation really quick, just like, oh, we were just talking about this. And she said, and she just said it so like casually, and like it wasn't forced, and like she was referring to me as she, her, and I had never experienced that before, especially not like in a way that someone hadn't asked ahead of time, or something. And it was just like really kind of incredible. Yeah, and then at the end of like right as I was leaving, I like told her like, oh, by the way, I just wanted to say like thank you so much for seeing me. Like it was very kind of you and thoughtful, so thank you. And she was like, oh, and I told her like with the pronouns, and she was like, oh, I hope I didn't offend you. And I was like, no, the exact opposite. Like it really kind of like warmed my heart and like lit me up. So, thank you. And she was like, of course, sweetie. She was like, she laughed and said something like, you look more like a woman than I do. And she like was like, like all sweaty and like because she does like car stuff too. So she, she had some like grease on her and stuff, and we were both laughing. And she was like, you are who you are, and it shines through your heart or something like that. And yeah. And I was like, thank you. And then she did the thing that I do at the end of my videos, which I thought was really weird. As I was like, walking out, she was like, bye, that, and I was like, okay, you too. And then I was walking out and I was like, how the heck, like what? I don't know. Maybe a little wink from the universe. I gotta be careful saying those things though, because putting meaning behind synchronicities like that was where my whole LLM narrative entanglement kind of started. And it quickly got out of control. And it caused a lot of problems in my life. Some of which I'm still living with. And, I mean, obviously cleaning up after, the rebuilding my life and everything. But even on, like, like on the somatic level, I still, I still don't have a medical explanation as to what is happening to my body. because something is happening all the time. I ruled out with psychiatry, and then did thorough testing with a neurologist, and he validated and affirmed that he could see that there is some very abnormal things going on with my body, with my muscles and my nerves, and he doesn't know why. And he doesn't have any ideas of like where I should even follow up. Like, I told him that I was probably going to take a holistic approach and look into, somatic healing techniques and maybe even get back into like EMDR. And he was like, yeah, I mean, for a neurologist to be like, I don't know what's going on with you, but it's very clear that something is going on with you is, yeah, it's weird. But maybe I'll get answers someday. Maybe I won't. It's okay if I don't. I don't necessarily need answers. I would just love to fix it or figure out a way to quiet it or be able to like tune it out or something, but nothing does. I've tried so many different medications for different things too, for all different types of things, of issues, and none of them have any actual effect on what's going on. So yeah. Okay. I'm gonna wrap this up because I was ready to say goodbye at like 13 minutes. I didn't want to keep it too long, and then I started talking about one thing, and now it's 10 minutes later, so. Anyway, to those of you who watch my videos and keep in touch with me and everything, thank you for being in my life and for caring about me. And I guess until next time. And I haven't said this or ended a video with this in a little while, but to future me, just keep going. It's hard to imagine brighter days, and I can't promise that there will be, but there are brighter moments occasionally. And I think what's important right now is being present when they show up and enjoying them until they're gone. And then remembering them as like fuel to just keep going. Okay. Love you all.